Is it safe to talk about 100 Thieves again? Is all the fire died down? Well, it has and it hasn't, but we'll get into it. Oh, you decapitated that snowman. Your mom's gonna be pissed. You're in trouble, not me. So, since we last talked, obviously 100 Thieves is going to be in the LTA next year. 1-year deal. We'll worry about that later, but we have the official roster, and that is the inclusion of a new ADC. Well, new and old. I think I have to get something for this. FBI, the aviator man himself, is back on 100 Thieves as our ADC. That is the only change that is going to be made this entire offseason. I know there were people that were hoping that Ayla would change out. Personally, said this from the jump. I don't think there's anybody better than him at the moment, so I think everybody that was hoping for something was hoping for a pipe dream at best, and I feel pretty good about this roster, all things considered. If you're new around here, if you're a new 100 Thieves fan, FBI is kind of a staple for us. It's actually kind of weird looking back at the history of him being with the org and seeing how it all ended. It was a weird note. FBI joined the squad whenever we picked up the core of Golden Guardians after the 2020 season. The core of this was Closer, Demonte, FBI, and Huhi. We, at the time, had Someday at top lane, kept him in, and the whole thought was basically, oh, we're putting a team around Someday. And if you remember, this was the first split with Doublelift not being in the league. He notably retired after the whole TSM debacle of 2020, so there was like this kind of hole that was sitting in the league of like, okay, who in the world is going to step up and take over as like the best ADC in the league? And one of those names ended up being FBI. Him and Huhi developed pretty quickly once they joined 100 Thieves. They actually, I think, were considered widely by most people as like a top 2 or 3 bot lane in the entire league. Their chemistry was just on point. Many, myself included, were hoping that they would end up winning the lock-in tournament back in 2021, but they did not. We lost to Cloud9. Felt like we just had that monkey on our back that we could not get over. Their first split with 100 Thieves kind of spudded out, and many fans, myself included, were sitting there thinking, okay, I love you, Demonte. Obviously, great coach. I know he follows me and sees some of my content, so this is not a slander on you. But we did need to upgrade in mid lane. Like, something had to happen in order for this squad to win because bot lane and FBI are playing well. How do we get over that hump? They bring in Abadage, who luckily we got from H2K, or was it Schalke? Yeah, I think it was Schalke. They were going like bankrupt. It was the same way that like Broken Blade came to North America as well as part of TSM. So we lucked out, we get him, and things just click. And 2021, we win. Within like the first year of FBI being on 100 Thieves, he wins a title. It was amazing. Now, Worlds that year, we'd go 3-3. I think that was the year that EDG ended up going on to win, and FBI and Huhi were able to take a game off of them. Granted, it was a best of one, so a little bit different world, but a very promising first year for FBI on this team. You go into year 2, it's not like they fell off. We got second both splits, and I think FBI looked solid, but there was just this constant fear that like he couldn't step up in the big moments, and for whatever reason, like we couldn't get over that hurdle. We get the finals, we made both finals, like that's insane on that year, but we could not, for whatever reason, come together and win it. Now, whether that was like that makeup of players, whatever it was, I don't know, but it just never seemed to work out. So they let go of the whole squad, brought in like the Bjergsen Doublelift thing. FBI goes to EG, then NRG wins the title there. He's coming back in great form. But one of the questions that always existed with FBI on the team in that particular generation of 100 Thieves was, we were not well liked. It's not like 100 Thieves is the most popular team in the league. I understand that Cloud9 and TL have always been above, but the thing that people had an issue with when it came to this roster was that there were pretty much no American players on this team. Actually, there were none. Someday, natively Korean born, Closer, Turkish, Abadage, European. I'm forgetting what country Abadage, I'm sorry. FBI, Australian, and Huhi, Korean, even though, like, obviously we had enough native, like, residents via, like, green cards and situations like that, people never really latched onto the roster because there was no tie to North America. And to be fair, with FBI coming back, that is kind of a concern about community perception going forward this year. Now, luckily, I'm going to push back against this a lot harder, especially since we do have Sniper on the team. But outside of Sniper, you do have Korean jungle, Korean mid, and double Australian bot lane. So we are back to kind of that phase of 100 Thieves being majority non-North American. Okay, Coco, nope. Your mom is already going to kill you. I can't, like, go further. And I'm not trying to get in any more trouble than we already are in, okay? This is the most chaotic film session I've ever done on this channel. Dear God. I know this might be a me thing, and obviously not everybody, but one of the things that I pride myself on being when it comes to being a fan of 100 Thieves is that it's the team over everything. I don't care where you're from, I don't care who you are. If you're playing for our squad, you're playing for our squad. And I want to make sure that feeling is emulated everywhere this year, especially whenever I do think that claims will come as, the turbulence happens, as it always does mid-season, and people start ragging and like trying to find a way to poke at this team. They're going to poke at Ayla. They're going to poke at the non-resident, like, general makeup of the squad. Now I'm going to be way more on top of that. But where's the potential here? I mean, I'll do power rankings when the new year comes, and I'm going to make a separate video on Wednesday of this week, grading every team's offseason based on the expectations that I personally had for them and how I think they did on those. But I think we did the one thing that we need to do, which is get some veterancy on this team. Hopefully that helps a little bit with late game macro and shot calling. We will see. That is definitely still a worry for us. I don't think the FBI necessarily solves that, but it could be a step towards the solution, which is a good thing. The squad still has a bunch of time to go. I still have a ton of trust in coaching staff. So right now, I'd say we still solidly hold our position as third best team in the LTA North. Now, where will that end up in the end of winter, spring, summer? We'll see. But the squad is boot camping right now in Korea. Yeah, they were conveniently there whenever the martial law went into effect. I think that was like the first 24 hours of them being in Korea. They lock everything down. I thought they were going to be in Busan because it's part of Fear X. Turns out they're actually in Seoul itself, but they're not alone there. Cloud9's also there. Team Liquid is there. Shopify is there. Literally half of the LTA North is in Seoul, Korea at the boot camp at Fear X. And we actually have a show match, I believe next week, against both Cloud9 and Fear X. It's going to be on at like 3:30 or like 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. None of us are going to be able to watch it over here in North America. I hope that we get some stream highlights or like something on the official like 100 Thieves League of Legends channel. I want to see that like within 24 hours of it happening. That way fans can catch up and watch it in the same way that Koi and K-Corp just did their show match and introduced Jojopyun to the roster. Like, I think like what Koi has just done in terms of their introduction as players, like Jojopyun got the best introduction that, well, honestly, a better introduction than probably any North American player is ever gonna get on any of their teams at the current moment. And it's like, we need to make sure that we are doing something like that. We cannot just let this FBI announcement, like we got the official one from New York, but I want to see like something official, like introduce them to the fans, put them in front of people, like show off the gameplay. So give me highlights of that Korean boot camp event. But if you're wondering, how are they doing in solo queue? Well, I'll put the stats over here. River, kind of stuck in time at the moment. Quid has been on a bit of a bender for the last like 13, 14 days, kind of like skidding down a little bit. But his high win rate champions are the champions that we're pretty much used to seeing from him. The Hui, the Yone, the Azir. We know his champion pool pretty damn well at this point. Sniper, having a good climb right now, and man, seeing him pop off on Mbessa is really good. It is nice to see, like, whenever there's like a new champion to the game, if you have a player that can pick up those champions very, very quickly, that is really nice. Sniper apparently plays him, or plays her, Mbessa, quite well, fits into his playstyle, so great. He's got the Mbessa, he's got a Kali, he's got a 100% win rate at this current moment on Aurelia in top lane. So like going into this next year, like if one thing is clear, like if he's still winning in Korean solo queue with these champions, I want to see them on the LTA stage. I want to see Sniper on these carries, not just Renekton, not just the stock standard picks that we always see. Give me something a little bit more unique. Give me something that we can go with here that feeds into a style. Truly unlock Sniper. And I think that's actually coming because when you look at the champions that FBI is currently spamming in the bot lane, it's Ashe, it's Varus, it's Ezreal. It's all champions that provide stability down there, which can allow a jungler, if they want to just go up topside. Now, does that fit FBI style 100%? I think when FBI was at his peak, he was on champions like Lucian. The Vayne will always stick out for me. He's actually a pretty good Samira player as well, so he can be aggressive in lane, and maybe if the meta does swap that way, he'll be able to do so. Could be a bit of a problem given that the one like tank champion that Sniper is playing right now is Gnar, and his win rate isn't the best on it still. But that's fine. He's got a style. Hope we embrace it. But for FBI, he does offer a lot of versatility that even if the meta does swap to aggressive bot lanes as we hit that Noxus stage for winter, could still be a good thing. We will have to see. Ayla plays a lot of champions. Like, I know he gets a bad rep from people, but my dude just has a wide variety of people that he's willing to play, which is good. So just hope that confidence comes out on the main stage. We can eliminate some of those micro mistakes and then go from there. But that pretty much covers most of the news. There's one other thing around the org that's happening right now. The 100 Thieves, not 100 Thieves, the LA Thieves Call of Duty team just announced their jersey for next year. Does this mean this is what the jersey is going to look like for us? No, I don't believe so, because the Call of Duty League typically has, I don't know if they still have a requirement that the jersey has to look separate than every other like team that exists under your organization. I don't know if the deal with Adidas is longer than 1 year, if that's going to be going into next year, but one suggestion that I personally had was, we know that it's going to be a Noxus theme map for the first half of the year, or at least the first third of the year. I would love to see tie in Noxus elements with the jersey and make it thematic to the year that we are going to be playing. And then you can obviously change it to white in the championship versions come summer, whenever you're making a run towards Worlds and like trying to have that jersey and that look on you. Around the org, there's really not all that much to talk about. We are in the middle of the off season at its core. The org has put out some videos in terms of content. Sniper actually has like the most output out of anybody in terms of streams, YouTube videos. Like, you can tell he's like trying to work on the personality side of things, which is really cool to see. But the one bit of drama that I just do want to touch on lightly, because I haven't talked about it since it's been a month since I talked about 100 Thieves on this channel, was the anniversary video, which notably had like 1 second of Sniper in a photo shoot with everybody else. And I'm not going back into it. Those that saw like the outrage on Twitter and saw me get angry at that, I know it was an honest mistake. I did talk to DK about it. I've already echoed the sentiment that, you know, if you're trying to make sure that we feel included in everything, like having 1 second in a video like that when you clearly highlight every other portion of the org, when we had one of the biggest upsets in LTA history, when we had so much more going on, it was a punch in the gut after everything that had happened recently. But I think that's behind us. And personally, I know there's been a lot of people like asking me like what I'm planning on doing. Like, it's bluntly clear to me when you look at the contract structure of everybody in the org, like all of our contracts end after this year. There's not one single person, not one player that we've signed past that point, which to me, I would think that you would try and negotiate some sort of extension with Quid, with River, Sniper. I mean, Sniper specifically would be a great one to sign an extension on coming into the year, or maybe even like halfway through the year. But like the fact that everything's lined up for, you know, it all to open up at the end of this year is indicative, I would say. And honestly, it's not like I'm going to be paying less attention on 100 Thieves. Obviously, I'm still going to be making the rendezvous each and every week that we're still here. But I have noticed myself starting to like kind of distance myself at least a little bit in terms of following the day-to-day news, because it was unhealthy. Like, every time that I looked at 100 Thieves post and like I didn't see League of Legends in it, or there was something, could we not on Coco, there is a bit of a like an open wound and sore, so long as we don't know what's happening with this like temporary slot, that I can't allow myself to really like follow 100 Thieves news day in and day out, because it just to a certain extent makes me angry. Like, I'm not going to hide how I feel here. I want to see signs that like the organization is fighting for the league program. And I know discussions are held behind closed doors and we don't see that, but like there's things that you could do from like the outside looking in that like go above and beyond, especially like when you're really trying to build fans and you have a roster that's maintaining itself year over year. And I feel like we're not putting out the amount of stuff that you would want for a team that's like trying to convince Riot that we should be here, let alone like trying to convince fans that you are going to be here, especially given the chaos and turmoil. Like, if you have problems, you have to work twice as hard and be in the public eye twice as much in order to reassure people. And I personally don't feel like enough is being done there. Now, whether that's like understaffing in general at 100 Thieves could very damn well be. And the team that we have currently could be doing all that they could be doing. But in my heart of hearts, I just don't believe we are at the moment. So outside of like the games themselves, talking to the players, like how the rendezvous was typically held last year, that's going to remain exactly as is. But like the around the org stuff, like I think this might be one of the final times that I really talk about it. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for around the org until we get additional news. Now, why did I cut to this? Well, apparently the audio cut out for the end of that video. Not sure what happened with it, but basically it was just going to be a goodbye anyway, saying thank you for watching this particular video. Hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday whenever we go through all the different LCS teams or LTA teams and rank their off seasons. But for my 100 Thieves fans out there, happy holidays. Hope you make the most of the end of the year, and hopefully we get some more content that can help put us through January, because dear God, is it such a long time until we finally see them on the Rift. But I'll see you on Wednesday for the next video.